Hello and welcome everybody from Stuttgart, from Germany. This time I will show you the Ludwigsburg Palace, which is absolutely huge. It lies on 32 hectares if we consider all the gardens and all the buildings, because this is a palace complex and it consists of 18 buildings. So thus Ludwigsburg is the largest palace estate of Germany. Absolutely amazing Baroque palace. It has 452 rooms, so well, can you imagine living in such a huge palace? I cannot, and I think it would be very hard to clean all these rooms. Well, we'll visit some part of it, because there are some tours which lead across the rooms of the prince, and other tour which leads across the rooms of the princess, because actually it was a palace constructed for Duke Ludwig. This is why it is called Ludwigsburg, which in English means the castle of Louis castle. So actually Eberhard Ludwig was a duke of Württemberg, and he commissioned the construction of this palace in 1704, and the architect was Philipp Joseph Jenisch. First of all, only the palace building behind me was constructed because the Duke liked to come here for hunting, so it was actually just a hunting retreat for the Duke. In 1707, Philipp Joseph Jenisch was replaced with a new architect, Johann Friedrich Nette, who completed the majority of the Baroque palace and surrounding gardens. Nette died in 1714, and Donato Giuseppe Frisoni finished much of the palace facades. In 1721, the Duke began to run out of room in the Alter Hauptbau, which means the old main building. So the Duke ran out of room in this building for the functions of his court, and Frisoni began planning to enlarge it. The Duke dismissed the idea in 1724 and ordered Frisoni to construct the Neuer Hauptbau, which means the new main building. This is how the palace building in front of us was constructed. The palace has 4 wings. The northern wing, the Alter Hauptbau, is the oldest and was used as a ducal residence, and the east and the west wings were used for court purposes and housing guests and courtiers. The southern wing, the Neuer Hauptbau, was built to house more court functions and was later used as a residence. With the exception of the interiors of the Neuer Hauptbau and Schloss Theater, the castle theater, all works were finished in 1733, but unfortunately Eberhard Louis, the Duke, died the same year. Construction of Ludwigsburg Palace cost the Duchy of Württemberg 3 million florins. It was a very expensive construction. Eberhard Louis left no heirs and was succeeded by Charles Alexander. Charles Alexander ended funding for the palace, dismissed its staff and moved the capital back to Stuttgart. Only his successor, Charles Eugene, declared officially Ludwigsburg Palace his residence in 1746. Charles Eugene's court architect, Philippe de la Guépierre, a Frenchman, completed and refurbished parts of the new Hauptbau in the Rococo style. especially the Palace Theatre. Charlotte, Princess Royal, employed Nicolas Friedrich von Thurey to renovate the palace in the neoclassical style between 1816 and 1824. Charlotte was the last ruler of Württemberg to reside at Ludwigsburg, as Frederick's son and successor, William I, and the future kings of Württemberg did not show any interest in the palace. As a result of each architect's work, Ludwigsburg is a combination of Baroque, Rococo, Neoclassical and Empire style architecture. The palace was opened to the public in 1918 and survived World War II intact. It underwent periods of restoration in the 1950s, 60s and 90s, and again for the palace's 300th anniversary in 2004. That was the last renovation. Let's also go inside and take a look of the rooms. This is the Favorite Schloss, the favorite castle, also belonging to Ludwigsburg. By 1710, the Duke Eberhard Louis had decided to use Ludwigsburg as his main residence, but he still desired a hunting retreat. Inspired by a garden palace he had seen in Vienna, he tasked Frisoni, the architect, to design a new Rococo palace on a hill to the north of Ludwigsburg. So Schloss Favorite was built from 1717 to 1723. The model was the Garten Palais in Vienna. In 1800 the interior was remodeled by Touré for Frederick I and renovated in the neoclassical style. Only one room in the western half of the building retains its original Baroque appearance. When Frederick was appointed an elector in 1803 and then a king in 1806, he chose both times to celebrate the occasion at Schloss Favorite. Favorite fell into disrepair in the 20th century but was extensively restored from 1972 to 1982. Now the castle, Schloss Favorite, is state-owned under the control of the State Castles and Parks of Baden-Württemberg. It is open to the public, included with a guided tour of the main palace, but only if you register in advance. So usually at the Ludwigsburg Palace you can register upon arrival only for a standard tour of Ludwigsburg Castle, and you cannot take a tour also of Schloss Favorite. And I found some information when is the next tour of the castle. It's on the 23rd June, 11 o'clock. Well, this information was not posted on the website when I checked the last time, so probably if you want to visit this castle, then you should call the institute or write them an email, because the tours take place very rarely and only on special dates, so it's better to be informed in advance. So this was the presentation about Ludwigsburg Palace. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if that's so, please subscribe to my channel if you didn't do it yet. It's very important to push on the bell icon, because this is how you get notified about the new contents. Have a nice day and goodbye.